Hey, this is Drew from GameChurch.com, and I'm here with Nikolai Duboski, and he is with the CEO of Icepick Lodge. And tell us a little bit about the new game, the new Pathologic game.
Well, Pathologic is a very strange game about a doctor who has only 12 days to extinguish some strange epidemic of unknown disease. And what is unique about our game is that our disease doesn't make any monsters or zombies out of people, just some new disease which is lethal, dangerous, and you must find a cure and understand how to fight this epidemic, how to stop it. So you have only 12 days. And being a doctor, you have to care about people. Also, you have to take care about yourself, because being a doctor, you are the most priceless man or woman, because we have 3 healers in this town. So Pathologic is the game about heavy ethical choices. Actually, it's a survival, but it's a story-driven survival. And we put very much of our forces into the story to make it really mysterious and really important. Because our story tells not only about the epidemic, not only about some medical stuff and about the life of a doctor in a strange town, but actually this is a game about what makes a human, and what a human must do to become something more than just a human. Do we have to tend to become something else, something more, to become gods maybe? And what price do we have to pay for such intention? That's what our game is about.
Yeah, it looks really fascinating. In fact, one of the things that I noticed straight away playing it yesterday was the way the game handled combat. Like, it's not a game about combat, obviously, but there are some instances where people are so stressed out by this plague that you could get into a fight with another person. And it was the most probably powerful experience I've had, fighting someone in a game. It was really impactful. Can you talk a little bit about your design goals for how you handled, that instance of combat in particular?
I see. Well, actually, I don't like fighting very much. And our hero is a doctor. Each of our 3 heroes is a doctor, even the strongest one. So he's not very much of a fighter. And most of people in this town actually fight better than you do. So fights sometimes are necessary, like in real life. But actually, you must do your best to avoid fighting. And what we wanted to do is, to implement some real-life street fighting, to perform the fighting of a man who doesn't know how to fight, who is not a professional boxer or a professional, judo master or a professional ninja. He doesn't know just how to wave your fists and legs. He just does what he can because he's frightened and he's shocked. And we want to, do our best to give this feeling of the unexpected fight when you don't know what to do and when you're shocked and you just grab your opponent and you want to push him, to kick him, but you don't know how. Actually, our game is about fighting the death itself. It's a survival. So why did we just keep the fights in our game? Why did we keep these survival elements? Why do we keep hunger, thirst, and your ability to fight? Because you must feel yourself alive. Fighting the death, you must understand that life is a hard job to do. And being alive and staying alive is a hard job. That's what we're trying to show. And fights are a part of this idea.
Yeah, that's what I found memorable about it. It's the first time, that I fought, gotten into a fight in a video game and really felt the weight of it. It really felt difficult and not empowering, but almost disempowering, So I really appreciate your attention to detail. Tell us a little bit about, or or actually, no, tell me what you hope players gain from their experience. Like if you had to narrow it down to one thing that you hope players gain from their time with a game, what would it be?
Well, if I understood you correctly,
Yeah.
you asked me about what should players feel when they play our game.
Yeah.
Well, actually, what I want most is I don't want to teach anyone anything, because who I am to teach anybody. But I want to show people that some things which seem obvious to them are not as obvious as they seem. Such simple things like life, death, duty, maybe your empathy to another person and your hatred to another person, and what is good and evil. Sometimes these things, even death itself, they do not seem what they really are.
Yeah, last question I like to ask game developers is, why do you make games? What drives you to make games?
Well, I don't know, it's just a matter of pure love. I remember myself being just a boy when video games were, well, a miracle. It was the end of the 80s, and it was rather long ago. And you know, video game was something like a real miracle from the future. It was like, you know, like you could fly to Mars and walk around Mars. So I still believe that video games are the most miraculous form of art which we can touch, we can feel, we can make.
Great. Well, we're so excited about the new game, and yeah, this has been great. So that's it for us here at PAX East. Thanks.